In terms of gaming this year, 2021 just felt like a better 2020. It feels like release schedules are finally beginning to recover from last year's virus outbreak, but we're still kind of far away from getting the next massive year in gaming. I feel like I should end this year by talking about everything I liked, disliked, or didn't really care about, whatever order I feel like. Also, a quick disclaimer, I can only comment on the games I've experienced. I bet Resident Evil Village is a good game despite its dumb name, but I haven't played it yet, so you won't be hearing me talk about it. Also, I will not be talking about game announcements if the game didn't release this year, so don't expect anything like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands to be featured. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear me rant more about giant game companies that won't listen to me, consider subscribing to my channel or messaging me on Instagram about why Sega's doing nothing for Persona's 25th birthday was justified. Anyway, let's get on with this retrospective. In February 2021, Square Enix released Balan Wonderworld, a 3D platformer that has involvement from the creators of both Sonic the Hedgehog and Nights into Dreams. It was not good at all. This game suffers from boring, sluggish gameplay, poor performance on Nintendo Switch, everything being tied to one button, and other issues. LS Mark has a great video where he goes into the game's problems, so I recommend watching Mark's video if you want to dive deeper into this topic. But anyway, this game did not deliver and people were disappointed. The reception was so poor that Square Enix delisted the game's demo because it's easier to do that than to delay and fix the game. Great. We finally got a new Warioware game. Warioware Get It Together is one of my favorite releases of the year. It's a fun game to pop in every once in a while and go for a new high score. And it also has a lot of good party games that I would play more if my friends liked this game as much as I did. Honestly, I'm just happy we got a new WarioWare game if that isn't just a port of Gold or Game & Wario, because Nintendo really loves doing ports of older games to Switch. February 2021, Nintendo announced World's End Club, a platformer that has involvement from the creator of Zeroscape and Danganronpa. This game already had a demo out on Apple Arcade, but this was the first time the game would be released in full. The game seemed interesting with these school kids being forced into a game where they wonder if they can all make it out alive. Are these kids gonna have to kill each other to make it out, or can they all make it back together? The first hour of this game is tense. The platforming is very slow and doesn't control well. And then after the first hour, it just becomes a basic, we gotta save the world story with a large cast of characters. It could have been more, but oh well, do better next time. Shin Megami Tensei 5 finally released in November 2021 after being announced 4 years prior. I was originally excited for it just because it was the closest thing to Persona 5 we're ever getting on Switch, but I'm glad I became excited for everything it's doing differently. I haven't gotten to play it much since it came out, but I enjoyed what I've played of it so far. Hey look, it's the Crazy Frog's first design, penis and all. Anyway, if you enjoy RPGs, please play this game. In October, we got the reveal that Sora from Kingdom Hearts would be the final DLC character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That reveal was legendary. But during the showcase, Sakurai revealed that the series would be coming to Switch as the Kingdom Hearts Integrum Collection. This was a good idea on paper since the series has always had a history on Nintendo handhelds with spin-offs such as Chain of Memories, so that now the entire series would be available on a Nintendo platform for the first time. But Square Enix decided that would have been too good of an idea, so they made it so you have to use cloud streaming to play these games on the Switch. Many fans were bummed out by this announcement, since there exist games that are far more demanding that got native ports to the hybrid, but they couldn't get these remasters of old games working on the system. I would have understood if only 3 and Remind were the only games that had to be streamed, but they just had to do it with all of the games because it saves time. According to an interview, storage was the reason why these ports didn't happen natively, but that didn't stop Square from bringing over Final Fantasy X and X-2 with a large file size. Plus, they could just make it so you don't have to have every game installed at once like the Borderlands games did on Switch. This whole situation feels like a massive cop-out and is an ugly blemish on what is otherwise a great announcement. "2021 will be known as the year where companies forgot how to make good remasters. Sonic Killers Ultimate's a remaster of a Sonic game that was previously a Wii exclusive. You think that'd be a slam dunk since Sega's been on a decent kick of bringing their old games to modern platforms, But you already heard the intro to this section, so of course it didn't go well. The game released with oodles of bugs and oversights, and even had seizure-inducing bugs on the Nintendo Switch version of the game. You know it's bad when people were having debates about which bugs were in the retail version and which ones were being caused by Switch emulation or were Photoshop footage. Other complaints were about the half-assed new features, the tail saves, and how they make an easy and forgiving game even easier, and the fact that it's a $40 game that can be finished in 4 hours. And then we got to conclude the year with GTA The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. And yes, that's GTA: The Trilogy: The Definitive Edition. Yet another example of a company rushing out a package just in time for a marketable holiday season. I don't think it's as big as Cyberpunk was last year, but we need to quit giving these companies passes for releasing sloppy games under the promise that they'll fix them later. If Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 was released today, it'd probably be given the same passes that Cyberpunk was given, and the launch date would just be relegated to a footnote on the Wikipedia page. Sony and Microsoft both had a fine year. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles have become easier to find, but you still have to go to your way to find one that isn't marked up by the scum of the earth. I believe that you can now find the Series S in stores because my friend bought one from Target, but the PlayStation 5 and the Series X are still a ways off from being there. It's gonna be weird if we get to the year 2024 and the PS4 and Xbox One are still getting brand new games because it's still not profitable enough to give up on them. Both consoles didn't have a lot of major exclusives this year either. Everyone considered Deathloop to be the reason to buy a PS5, yet it was also available on PC and would be coming to the Xbox Series a year later. Likewise, Halo Infinite was coming to the Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC on the same day. Sony announced a lot of cool games exclusively for the PlayStation 5, but they're all years away. I still feel like the 9th gen consoles aren't worth buying just yet. I'll probably get an Xbox Series once they make a revision, but I have no interest in Sony's cinematic exclusives that aren't supposed to be fun. It's gonna be a sad day when Naughty Dog makes a gritty ape escape game where you can brutally torture the apes before capturing them.
The Nintendo Switch Online app and special offers. Expand it further with a Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack membership.
Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack was announced at the end of September and would include N64 and Sega Genesis games. However, we didn't know how much it would cost, besides that it would be more than a base subscription. Many people expected it would be a $5, maybe $10 increase, but nobody expected what the real price would be. During the Animal Crossing Direct in October, it was announced to be $50 a year and would include the Animal Crossing DLC. People were outraged by this large of an increase. It probably would have gone over better if the N64 games didn't suffer from emulation issues that weren't in the original games, and if there was an option to not buy it with the Animal Crossing DLC. The expansion pack is only really worth it in this state if you own Animal Crossing. I guess that's a safe bet since around 1 and 2 Switch owners have Animal Crossing, but it sucks for the people who don't care about the game. Call me when Super Mario Odyssey gets DLC included in the expansion pack. And here is the part of a video where I go over the smaller stuff that I don't have enough to say about to make a full section of a video on it. Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 both got delayed indefinitely. I don't really care about those games, but it sucks for the fans. Persona 5 Strikers finally came out in the West. Call me when Sega brings Royal to Switch and PC, then we can talk about spin-offs. Bowser's Fury was good. I hope the next big 3D Mario isn't too far away. Fortnite got a bunch of crossovers, so that's cool. E3 came back, but most companies forgot to bring the announcements. Deltarune's second chapter came out, it was good. Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 both have their next-gen ports delayed, I don't really care. A bunch of companies announced they were backing NFTs because apparently they forgot that gamers don't like cosmetics as paid DLC. Gamers don't want to pay $250 for horse armor, let's charge a few grand instead. The Nintendo Switch OLED seems cool, but not $350 cool when I already have a Switch. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania is a faithful remaster after Sega gave us Banana Bliss HD a few years ago. I need to get this mainly because they actually listen to mine and many others' complaints. And now that those are out of the way, we'll conclude with the best and worst of the year section, starting with Activision Blizzard. I've always known that they were a shitty company, but they just keep finding ways to go lower. We should probably start with a lawsuit. In July, the State of California Civil Rights Agency filed a lawsuit against Activision over the amount of gender discrimination and sexual harassment of the company against their female employees, and for firing the employees who spoke out about this stuff instead of the company trying to improve conditions for their employees. That's already a big enough reason not to support the company, but they just keep giving me more reasons not to support them. In October, it was announced that Vicarious various visions would be emerging with Blizzard Entertainment. You'd think they'd be given ample time beforehand, but nope, the employees were just told about this in a quick meeting with the higher-ups. And in April, it was revealed that Toys for Bob, the company that worked on the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon remakes, would only be working on Call of Duty games from then on out. It makes me angry that despite all of this, their income won't be affected by this because they own Call of Duty, the safest video game franchise of all time. Activision Blizzard gets the award for my worst gaming topic of 2021. I'm confident that I will never buy another product that this company puts out. This year saw the end of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's 3.5-year hype train. We started the year off with Pyra and Mythra being added, a decision I liked solely for a gameplay reason. In the summer, we got the reveal of Kazuya, which was a cool addition for fighting game fans. And then right at the end, we got Sora, which was a cool addition for everyone. Many people considered him to be an impossibility since there are a lot of parties involved with the Kingdom Hearts franchise, so it was even more exciting that he actually made it in. I know that I already mentioned this earlier in the video, but I refuse to let Square Enix being lazy affect my enjoyment of this legendary reveal. It's unlikely that we'll ever see a major event in gaming like Smash Ultimate ever again, so that's why it gets my award for the best gaming topic of 2021. I now need to find something else to look forward to since Smash is over.
Let's go!